I will not speak as a historian, I speak as a witch, tracing the energetic currents behind the archives, the sigils carved in stone, and the vows whispered in candlelight. I am Dario, the Practical Witch, and tonight we open the sealed doors of 5 societies that shaped the unseen skeleton of the modern world. One, the Order of the Serpent, Babylon to Alexandria. Long before the word society was ever written, the priest-magicians of Babylon formed circles of secrecy. Their creed was simple: knowledge is power, power must be veiled. They studied the lunar currents, the same currents witches still read in ritual. The serpent was their emblem, not of evil, but of eternal renewal. Later, in Alexandria, fragments of their tablets appeared among hermetic scrolls, symbols of Ouroboros, 7 spheres, and the black sun. The order never died. Its methods became the silent grammar of alchemy. 2. The builders of light, from Solomon to the Mason's compass. The second current flows through stone and geometry. Imagine the Temple of Solomon not as architecture but as a diagram of cosmic order. Medieval builders inherited that map. They hid in plain sight, calling themselves Masons, speaking in lines, angles, and coded handshakes. Every cathedral they raised was a magical grid, the rose window, a mandala, the nave, a ritual corridor, the altar, the axis of worlds. They were not worshipping mortar, they were invoking harmony. 3. The rose of the dawn, the rosicrucian current. The rosicrucians claim to heal souls and kingdoms, but beneath their parables lay the art of inner transmutation. Their rose symbolizes the unfolding of consciousness, the cross, the intersection of spirit and matter. Their texts shimmer with Kabbalah, astrology, and Christian hermetic philosophy, all veiled as an allegory. For witches, their legacy is familiar: transformation through secrecy, revelation through symbol. 4. The invisible college, alchemy of reason. Out of their manuscripts emerged thinkers who disguised occult experimentation as early science. They called it natural philosophy, studying metals, stars, and ether. Yet behind their telescopes burned the same lamps of the alchemists. Their secret: to cloak magic as mathematics, to preserve the ancient art in a rational age. 5. The shadow consortium, the modern veil. The last society is not ancient, it is now. Born from fragments of the previous 4, it no longer uses temples or sigils. Its tools are data, economy, and narrative. The secrecy persists, but the rituals changed shape. Where once there were initiations by candlelight, now there are algorithms, yet the current is identical: control through knowledge, transformation through secrecy. As witches, we sense these currents differently. We see that behind each order is an archetype: serpent, builder, rose, scholar, shadow. They are not only institutions, they are living egregores, thought forms that feed on attention and secrecy. Every time history whispers of them, they strengthen. The lesson for the witch is simple but powerful. Secrecy itself is an energy. It bends minds, focuses will, guards wisdom. Tonight, we have opened only the first door, the origins. In our next descent, we enter the inner chambers, the symbols, rituals, and initiatory structures that mirror the witch's path. The candles fade, the sigils pulse, and the veil closes. The hidden orders still breathe through every empire of mind. Listen not just with ears, but with intuition. The world's greatest secrets are never locked, only disguised, and tonight we step deeper, past the door of names and into the corridors of meaning. The outer world saw these orders as politics or philosophy, but beneath the mottos and marble halls were patterns of initiation, ritual architectures that mirror the path of the witch. 1. The geometry of initiation. Every secret society begins with a threshold. You knock 3 times, you wait, you enter darkness. Why? Because all initiation begins in unseeing, the alchemical nigrido. Masons call it the chamber of reflection. Alchemists call it the black work. In witchcraft, we call it the moonless night. The initiate confronts their own ignorance before light can be kindled, symbol for symbol. The process is identical. Even the handshake, the password, the circle drawn in chalk, all are acts of boundary. A spell, after all, is only a controlled threshold. 2. The language of symbols. Every order speaks in symbols because words fracture truth. Look at the 5 again. The serpent coils as eternal return. The compass measures the soul's alignment. The rose hides the heart of transformation. The lamp of the invisible college burns for reason. The shadow hand holds the mirror of modernity. Each glyph, color, or gesture functions like a sigil of consciousness. To the witch, they are not decorations. They are interfaces, machines that translate spirit into thought. When a rosicrucian gazed upon the rose and cross, they were performing meditation by image. The same principle we use in sigil craft. 3. The right of silence. In every archive you find one vow repeated: I will keep silent. Silence is not merely secrecy, it is containment. Energy stored in silence grows potent. Witches call it the power of the unshed word. The societies knew that disclosure dissipates force. By sealing mouth and mind, they created psychic pressure, enough to bend politics, faith, and invention. This is the alchemy of silence, containment, arrow condensation, arrow manifestation. 4. The initiatory ladder. All true initiations share a triad: death of the profane self, vision of the hidden pattern, rebirth into service. The serpent sheds, the builder ascends scaffolds, the rosicrucian opens the rose, the scientist peers through the lens, the shadow strategist rewrites the world. Each stage mirrors the witch's own climb from ignorance to illumination. The forms differ, but the current is one. 5. Echoes of the hidden curriculum. Behind oaths and symbols ran a curriculum of transformation, observation as devotion, experiment as invocation, brotherhood as containment of power, myth as encryption. These were survival tactics after the Inquisition, but also spiritual technology. They taught that revelation without preparation destroys, a lesson the witch learns by fire and moon. 6. What the witch sees from the witch's eye. The societies appear as mirrors of our own craft. The serpent is our kundalini, the builder our circle and altar, the rose our heart and chalice, the scholar our book of shadows, the shadow our astral double. Their secrets are not alien. They are fragments of the same ancient current, institutionalized, coded and fenced. Where they guarded power, we circulate it. Where they built hierarchy, we build circle, but the language of initiation remains identical. 7. The witch's reflection. As witches, we are both inside and outside the mystery. We can read the geometry but are not bound by its walls. Our lineage runs parallel, older, feral. We study their rituals not to expose them but to understand the mechanism of secrecy itself. Because secrecy shapes reality. When something is hidden, attention gathers around it like storm clouds feeding it energy. To master secrecy is to master manifestation. These 5 orders are not ghosts of parchment. They are living archetypes whispering through every institution, every algorithm, every quiet decision made behind closed doors. The 3rd corridor, the one made not of marble and candlelight, but of glass screens and data streams. The old lodges are silent, their banners folded, yet their pattern still breathes through the world, one from temple to network. Once initiates met beneath vaulted ceilings, now initiation happens through information, every scroll replaced by code. The geometry of the builder became the architecture of the internet. The secrecy of the brotherhood turned into encryption. The same principle persists. Knowledge is protected by layers. Where once a mason drew a circle, now a programmer writes a firewall. Different tools, same archetype, the guardian of the gate. 2. The currency of attention. Every ancient order thrived on secrecy. The modern world thrives on visibility. Yet paradoxically, both run on attention. Attention is the modern gold, mined from mines instead of mountains. To the witch, this is energy work in disguise, an exchange of focus, will and emotion. The unseen forces are not elders in cloaks, but algorithms that shape perception. They echo the invisible colleges, curators of belief, engineers of narrative. 3. The digital sigil. Look at a logo glowing on your phone. It functions as a sigil. A simple symbol carries enormous collective intent. Each icon channels belief, loyalty, emotion, exactly what the old emblems did. The witch recognizes this instantly where attention, repetition, and emotion converge. A thought form awakens. The modern world is alive with these new egregores, brands, ideologies, memes. They feed on interaction as surely as the old gods fed on incense. 4. The initiate of now. Every person scrolling through infinite feeds practices a silent initiation. We are tested by overload, illusion, temptation. The same triad found in every mystery school. Those who learn to stay conscious amid the noise become modern initiates. They master focus, they reclaim will. To the witch, that is the new alchemy, transmuting distraction into awareness, data into insight, chaos into pattern. 5. The survivors of symbol, fragments of the 5 ancient orders still pulse. The serpent lives in biotech and renewal science, the builder in architecture, urban planning and digital design, the rose in psychology and self-development, the scholar in research networks, the shadow in geopolitics and economics, not as conspiracies but as continuities, threads of human desire for structure, secrecy, and transcendence. The witch studies these not to fear them but to read their pattern and remember power always hides in symbol. 6. The witch and the machine. So where does witchcraft stand in this maze of glass and code? We stand where we always have, between worlds. We light candles beside keyboards. We read data as omens, algorithms as weather. Our magic is the conscious use of what others perform unconsciously. To log in is to cross a threshold. To log off is to reclaim the soul. Awareness is the modern circle of protection. 7. Reclaiming sovereignty. All initiations, ancient or digital, lead to the same command: know thyself. The societies guarded that sentence. Now it lies scattered across search engines. But the witch's task remains unchanged: to gather fragments, to integrate shadow and light, to move freely through secrecy and revelation. Sovereignty today means lucid participation, seeing the pattern without being consumed by it. The temples of stone have become servers of light. The veils are made of pixels, yet they conceal the same mystery. I am Dario the Practical Witch, and this completes our journey through the 5 hidden orders. Remember, what was once called secrecy is now called complexity. Learn to read it, and you are already initiated. The night hums with circuitry, the moon glows through the cloud of data. The ancient current flows still beneath every signal, within every breath.